recovering from the startling appearance of male aggression over what to her, frankly, seemed like a nearly nonsensical discussion. Her friend Lisa had invited her over just a few hours ago for drinks in her loft, which wasn't actually a loft. It was more like 16 square feet and a skylight. And now a total stranger was clearly miffed with her because of some weird obsession he had with the demi-monde, and whether or not it was a demi-monde or the demi-monde. This isn't 18th century France, she thought. Who gives a shit? Well, she laughed, opting for good humor. I did know generally more or less about the demi-monde. I was an English major in college, and we tossed the whole thing about during one endless class on trollop, and I finally figured it out, that there really is only one in general, that it's a general sort of thing. But it's not a bad question, the versus a. I just never quite put it all together so specifically, until tonight. Thank you so much for clearing that up. This was, of course, both completely true and utterly sardonic, but the wry amusement of her tone didn't win her any points. These seemingly simple situations were frankly problematic for Alison, whose untamed heart and effortless intelligence combined to create an unfortunately toxic cocktail for a certain breed of male ego. An ex-friend of her ex-boyfriend, Kyle, once told her that he got sick of how she had to show off how smart she was all the time. It was an irrational misreading of her character. Alison wasn't particularly interested in showing off. She just wasn't a fool and felt no need to pretend to be one under any circumstances or for any reason. Unfortunately, her ex-boyfriend's ex-friend was not the only male creature who had ever mistaken this trait for something less defined and more blameworthy. "Where was that?" Seth, the OCD word fanatic, asked. "Where was what?" Alison asked, confused again. "Where'd you do your undergrad?" "Undergrad?" she repeated. "Oh, I went to Notre Dame." As soon as she had admitted this, she wished she hadn't. Having arrived in New York only 5 months before, she was already acquainted with the eagerness with which those interminable Ivy Leaguers pried into the facts around your college education, just so they had an excuse to bludgeon you with their own. And she had stepped into his trap. "Let me guess. You went to Harvard," she said, beating him to the punchline. She tilted her chin at him, aiming for charming defiance. "Well, yes, actually," Seth admitted with a nod. Unfortunately, the charming defiance didn't manage to outshine the leaden fact of Notre Dame. He glanced over her shoulder to see if anyone more worthy of his attention had drifted into view behind her. She hated New York at times like this, so full of intellectual phonies, desperate to take any opportunity to assert their superiority in ways that honestly would have been considered just rude in the Midwest. "Guess they weren't supposed to let girls from Ohio into this particular corner of the demi-monde," she told him tartly. "A Harvard boy who writes for Vanity Fair, how on earth did you get stuck talking to a loser like me?" "Just lucky, I guess." He shrugged, playing the double negative now. "And what do you do, Alison?" She looked him straight in the face. I'm an actress." She tried to keep up her confidence, but she knew how idiotic this would sound to him, or anyone, in point of fact. "So how's that going for you?" he asked with deliberate disinterest. Too bad, she thought. I thought he was kind of cute. He was already someone she had known in the past. "I'm going to get another glass of wine," she told him. "Terrific," he noted flatly. It was so dismissive she blinked a little and took a step back. He had turned away and was saying hello to some other loser friend of Lisa's, a girl with an eager smile and enormous breasts.